This is Histories and Mysteries Uncovered. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jessica. And on this week's episode, Ashley is going to be talking about the Lawson family murder. And I'm going to be talking about a bad man named Nikko Jenkins.
Oh, I really like the name Nikko.
Yeah, maybe not after this.
Oh, no. Okay.
He's a bad guy.
Oh. And hey, at the top of this, if you guys want more of us, go over and join our Patreon. For $3, you get a monthly bonus episode and a sticker.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun.
It's very chaotic over there, so.
You get more of our personality over there, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's unedited, so it's just chaotic.
Chaos. And for everybody, just a heads up, we will be taking 2 weeks off for Christmas break. So there will be a new episode on December 24th, but we will not have a new episode December 31st or January 7th. However, if you join our Patreon, we will be releasing our December bonus episode on December 31st. So,
yep. So you'll get that shit.
Yeah. So if you can't go 2 weeks without us, join the Patreon and you only have to go 1 week without us.
Yeah. And Ashley, do you want to tell them the good news?
I got my surgery date.
Yay!
I'm so excited. I'm getting put back together.
So what does that all mean?
So December 18th. Nope. Yes.
15th?
No. I'm in January. I'm looking at a calendar. December 18th, I will be going in and they will be putting all my intestines back together and my stoma will be gone and I won't have a colostomy bag anymore. And I'm very, very excited. But because of that, I will have to be out for a few weeks. So Jessica and I are recording these episodes early so that you guys don't have to go a bajillion weeks without us.
Yeah. And if we don't get them all done, Kyle will step in again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, super fun.
Yeah. So because this will be our, not our Christmas episode, that'll be next week, but this is like the week before Christmas Eve. My story is actually a Christmas murder.
Oh, why wouldn't you save that one?
Well, because we're doing the other stuff for Christmas.
Oh. Okay.
We're doing a fun Christmas movie facts for our Christmas episode.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun for next week.
Yeah.
But this week, it's a Christmas murder. It's old too. So I got my sources from The Lineup, Southern Calls, Medium.com, News.com, Cinemaholic, and a podcast called Songs in the Key of Death.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if anybody would like to know why I am so dopey right now, it is because Ashley kind of woke me up from a nap and I was a warm little burrito wrapped in my blanket in front of my fire.
And I said, go, we gotta go.
Yeah. So
she'll wake up and get with us here.
I hope so.
Good thing I go first. All right. The Lawson family were hard workers. The dad, Charlie Lawson, was a sharecropper, which for those of you dum-dums who don't know what that is, unlike me, who 100% completely knew what that was and didn't have to Google it at all.
I was gonna say you just offended a lot of people. Oh my gosh.
I hope everybody got the sarcasm there. I had no idea what it was. It is someone else's. So it's a farmer that lives on someone else's land, but gives part of their crop to them as rent.
Okay.
So it's not their land, but they can farm on it and they pay rent through their crops.
Okay.
He had been married to Fannie for 18 years and they had 8 children, 4 boys and 4 girls.
Oh.
Unfortunately, one of their children, William, died in 1920, but they still had their other 7 remaining children.
Oh, how did he die?
It didn't say, but I think he was like a baby. I think he was young.
Okay.
In 1927, after working for years as a sharecropper, Charlie had finally saved enough money to buy his own farm in Germantown, North Carolina.
Aw.
They were, by all accounts, a normal working family. They lived frugally. They had friends and visitors, and everyone thought they were a normal, happy family. 2 years later, on December 24th, 1929, Charlie took his family to the city, bought them all new clothes, and had everyone pose for a family photo,
Oh,
which was unusual.
I think I've heard this one.
Have you?
I think so.
He, for working class one, it was unusual just because spending that money, getting all new clothes, getting a picture, and it was unusual for his family as well. They lived very frugally. They didn't have a lot of money,
Yeah.
but nobody could know how unusual it was. This would be the last photo that was ever taken of the whole family together.
I don't like this.
So here I found two different sources. One said that Charlie sent the oldest son, Arthur, out on an errand that was an overnight trip. One said that on Christmas Day, Charlie sent Arthur to go get more ammo because they were out shooting that morning. And he's like, hey, I ran out of ammo. Go get more ammo for me. So either way, their eldest son, Arthur, Charlie sent him away. On Christmas Day, 1929, the day started like any other. The eldest daughter, Marie, 17, woke up early to make a Christmas cake. And the source was very specific. She was making 2 layers. She did it in 2 separate pans, and then she iced it. It was very specific. I was like, okay, I'll add that in there.
All right. Fancy cake. Maybe because it's like extra work, extra fancy,
Maybe, yeah.
ingredients cost more and
Yeah.
it's kind of exuberant.
Yeah. And it had raisins in it, which
Ew. It's
is, I
disgusting.
know, I think that's gross too.
Like in a chocolate cake, that's disgusting.
I don't know that it was chocolate.
Oh.
That's just what you were picturing.
Yeah. Apparently, I want chocolate cake.
There's never a bad time for chocolate cake.
Oh.
So later that day, the family sat down for a nice Christmas lunch. Charlie left the house afterwards and went behind the tobacco barn and waited. The two middle girls, Carrie and Maybelle, left to go visit their aunt and uncle as they normally did when they were surprised by their own father. He jumped out and shot the two girls with a shotgun.
What?
He then didn't think they were dead yet, so he bludgeoned them until he was sure they were gone. Yeah. He then dragged their bodies into the barn and placed rocks under their head, which is weird,
Yeah.
and headed to the house. His wife Fannie was sitting on the porch, obviously not knowing what was happened, although we can assume she heard the gunshot, but she probably, if the boys were out shooting earlier, if that was a common thing to do back then, she probably just, didn't think anything of it.
Awful already.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So she greeted her husband, who returned her greeting by shooting her in the chest with a shotgun where she died. This is really sad. At this point, the oldest daughter, Marie, had heard the shots outside and screamed. She was in the house with the two youngest boys, James and Raymond. They were toddlers.
Mm-mm.
She rushed to help them find a place to hide, and she was able to hide them, but she did not have enough time to hide herself. Her father found her and shot her as well. Charlie then went through the house room by room looking for the youngest boys. He found them huddled together and he shot them both as well. He then went to baby Mary Lou and bludgeoned her to
No.
death.
No. No.
Yeah, she died from a cracked skull. She was the only one who had not died by a gunshot wound. Sometime during all of this chaos, the neighbors had heard the gunshots and called the police. I also heard, this is old, so there's, different versions, but I also heard that some family had come over for Christmas and they found the bodies, and that's how the police got notified. So either way, the police got notified, but by the time they arrived, Charlie was nowhere to be found.
Of course not, you fucking coward.
Yeah. What they did find would haunt them for the rest of their lives. All 7 bodies were found. All 6 bodies were found. No, 7, because the wife, yeah, were found. 6 of them being children. They had their arms crossed over their chests. The two in the barn had rocks placed under their heads, and the rest had their like specific pillows. Like he went to their beds, got their pillows, and put it under their
Ew.
heads.
I don't like that.
As police were searching for any clue as to who did this or why this gruesome crime happened, they heard a gunshot from a distance off in the woods. They rushed to the area of the gunshot and they were shocked to find Charlie dead from the same gun that he had used to kill his family. They found footprints around the around the tree. I wrote Christmas tree. Around the tree that had showed Charlie had been pacing for quite some time before finally taking his own life. They also found two crumpled up notes addressed to his parents, and neither one of them said why he did what he did. Neither one of them was complete. One said, "Nobody to blame, but," and the other said, "Troubles can cause." And that's it.
I don't. So, this is an old story.
Yes.
You've said that. It's hard to think how they knew the sequence of events if he wasn't alive to tell them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, how do they know that that's what happened? Like, he could have done everything in the house first.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
I don't know. It just seems weird to me.
Yeah. And maybe some of this people filled in throughout the years, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because
That's
that's
a
what
good
I was
point.
thinking. I was like, he must have survived because how would they know all of
Yeah.
this?
No, that's a great point.
So I know, and I mean, nowadays I get how they can piece
Right.
together, but
Yeah.
that was so far back. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
And, it's at that time where people just go through the crime scene without logging anything.
Yeah.
So,
The only thing I could think is that if neighbors heard the gunshots, they could say, "Oh, yeah, we heard the first two out by the barn, and then the rest
yeah.
we heard from the house." And they found Fannie on the porch. So they would know that obviously if he was first heard in the barn, she would obviously be hit first, and then the kids inside. But I don't know how they would know Marie
I mean,
versus the boys.
like she could have just gone outside to wish the girls bye. Like,
Yeah, but
did you?
like, so if the neighbor said, "Oh, we heard the shots
Yeah,
first,"
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
and then
I
he was
just
walking back. But yeah, I don't know how they would have known Marie helped the boys find a hiding spot.
Yeah,
But
or they didn't, or they just found a hiding spot on their own.
right, yeah. Maybe where her body was, like maybe it was in front of where the boys were hiding or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
After this, all of the family was buried together in one plot, including
Ew.
Charlie.
Ew, no.
Yeah. Some say when the leaves fall in the fall, they fall on all the graves except for Charlie's.
Good.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Charlie.
Back at the farm, their house became a huge tourist attraction.
Of course it did.
Yeah. And that cake that Marie had made was still sitting on the counter waiting for the celebration that was never to come. The reason why I told you this cake had raisins in it is because when people were coming to tour the murder house,
Ew,
they
no.
were taking raisins from the cake as souvenirs,
Ew.
which is not as bad as some of the souvenirs we've heard, but still
Yeah,
disgusting.
it's disgusting.
So much so that they ended up having to put the cake under a glass case so that you could look but not touch.
See, and this is what I'm saying about crime scenes back then.
Yeah. Yep.
This is ridiculous.
But why? Why did this happen? What would cause a man to murder his whole family? And why did he spare his son Arthur by sending him on that errand and keeping him out of the house? So, unfortunately, we'll never know the truth, but there are some theories. One theory that was quickly debunked was that Charlie had a few months earlier had a hit his head, and they thought, well, maybe he had a TBI, a brain injury, and made him different and something was wrong. But his autopsy didn't show any damage to his brain. So, another theory, and I'm thinking that this may be the most accurate theory, is financial. Charlie's farm wasn't doing super well. And this happened right after Black Tuesday, which is where the stock market took a huge dive and billions of dollars were lost and it jump started the Great Depression. So if he already wasn't doing well and then everybody's, estimating all this doom and gloom and the Great Depression coming, maybe he just how we've covered those before where the father thought he was doing a mercy killing because they didn't have money or he didn't want them to know. And this is back in the 1920s when men were like, oh, I have to earn money or I'm useless.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So that's one of the theories, which I think is probably the most plausible. Another theory, which is awful, was that Charlie got his oldest daughter pregnant.
It sounds like that Hinterkaifeck story that I did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It sounds exactly like that
Yep.
because the rumor was that he got his daughter pregnant too.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on their farm and
Yeah. So there's some evidence to no hard evidence, like only hearsay evidence. The reason they think he killed over this was that people were starting to learn about it, and Marie actually had told a friend. So according to a book published in 1990 called White Christmas, Bloody Christmas by Bruce Jones and his daughter Trudy Smith, they said that anonymous sources, as well as friends and family, said that he had raped his daughter and she had become pregnant. And then in another 2006 book called The Meaning of Our Tears by Trudy Smith again, she said that Marie had confided in a friend that her dad got her pregnant. It was also said that Charlie had told Marie that if she told anyone, quote, there would be some killing done. Trudy said that her dad, Bruce Jones, that author of that first book, interviewed Marie's friends in the early 90s while she was in a nursing home. And this was the friend that Marie had confided in that her dad had gotten her pregnant. Now, Marie's autopsy didn't list her as being pregnant, but one of the thoughts is maybe the surviving brother asked them to keep it a secret, or maybe the coroner didn't think it was important or appropriate to say. I'm not sure, but that's another one of the theories.
imagine being the only one that survives.
I and then he didn't. Okay, so actually, this is the next sentence.
Oh, okay.
His son did end up getting married and having two kids, but died in a car accident at the age of 32, just 15 years after his family was murdered.
Oh no.
Yeah. So he didn't really do that well either.
That's really sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Um so again, there's a couple theories on why he let his son live. One of the theories was just that he wanted his name to live on, which I don't really think. I think this is the more correct one, is that if you look at that last picture of all of them, his son's bigger than him.
Mm-hmm.
So his son could have overpowered him and stopped this.
Yeah.
So they think that's why he sent him away, was so that no one could stop him.
I think that's pretty plausible.
Yeah, that's what I think is probably what happened. Because his son is quite a bit bigger than him. He's taller, a bit bigger. And I mean, you think about an old farmer with 8 kids compared to a young, spry, kid in his prime. He's going to be able to overpower that dad. Right after the murder, Charlie's brother opened the house as a museum. He charged 25 cents for admission and would sell pamphlets, photos, and pop. The museum was open for 5 years. And although I hate that it was turned into a museum, the profit was used to help his son Arthur keep the farm open because since he was the only surviving member of the family, he owed the mortgage on the farm.
Okay. His son was cute.
Yeah. And they
Very
say,
handsome.
so if you look up a picture of the Lawson family murders, that's the picture that continually comes up as that last one that they took together. Um, and it's all of them together. It has, pull it up really quick. I'm going to describe it for our listeners. His oldest son is first, and you can see quite a bit bigger than the dad.
Oh
Then
yeah.
his oldest daughter, then him, then his wife. His wife is holding the baby, and in the front row are the four youngest kids.
Their daughter was really pretty too.
Yeah,
Like the oldest, she
yeah.
was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. So some people say, and I think that this is looking too much into this, but I've heard a lot of people say that they looked at this photo and Marie is staring straight ahead into the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And the dad is kind of staring off to the side, smirking. And they say that is proof, I guess, that he's like kind of defiant, like he got her pregnant and he knows he's gonna kill them all. And they said that they used this photo to assume that it was premeditated because it was so unusual for them to get all new clothes and take a photo. So they think that he had already planned that he was going to kill them when they went to go do this picture.
He doesn't look like he's smirking though.
I see a little bit of like a smile, but I don't see how you could get. I could see it in this where you would get this premeditated. I don't see how they could say that he's like being defiant and that he got his daughter pregnant. Like I don't
Well,
get
and
that.
I agree. Like it's 100% premeditated because like you said, it's out of the norm. He spent
Mm-hmm.
all this money getting them
Mm-hmm.
new clothes. It's just weird. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you take a photo?
Right before you were gonna kill them.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's very weird. And you can there's a photo of what I would think is a bedroom. There's a bed, the crib, a fireplace, and a dresser, and then there's blood on the floor. So I'm assuming that's where he killed one of the people, and they have that picture you can see as well, which it's
That's
kind of disturbing.
horrifying.
Yeah, it's really disturbing. So I would suggest not, but it is on the internet, unfortunately.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't look at the picture, guys.
Yeah, it's not great. So if you go now to their family grave, their tombstone says, "Not now, but in the coming years, it will be in a better land. We'll read the meaning of our tears, and then sometime we'll understand."
Oh,
And
awful.
that is the story of the Lawson family murders. And I was one of the podcast, the songs in the key of death, was talking about family annihilators and how they often pick a significant date like Father's Day, birthdays, Christmas to commit these crimes because it's significant to them, or they think that it'll make them more
Kind of more
known, or
memorable.
yeah, more memorable. Yep, that's exactly the
Yeah.
word I was looking for. So yeah, they said that's pretty common for family annihilators.
Terrible.
Yeah. I cannot imagine, although there wasn't a lot about them prior. There is a book. You can read a whole bunch about how they were prior to this, that they got from interviewing friends and family. But from what I could tell, Charlie wasn't like a super great man,
Oh,
obviously, but I cannot imagine because you are supposed to have that utmost trust in your parents. And I mean, obviously, some people have horrible relationship with their parents, but I would hope most people don't think their parents are going to murder them. I can't imagine having that gun pointed at you from your father.
no.
It's awful.
And the children.
I
It
know.
always just hurts me because I just imagine them all huddled up and crying and
Scared
scared. And
from the person that's supposed to protect them.
what a horrible way to go being
Oh,
scared,
I know.
you know?
And yeah, it's awful. So that's the Christmas Massacre.
I really hated it. Thank you.
You're welcome. This was better than the other one I was gonna do, and I told you a little bit about that other one. I was like, that's too bad. I can't do this one. But that one was more gross than sad. This one's more sad.
I'll probably have to do it because I usually go balls to the walls.
You do,
So
man. You do. It was about, for those of you, it had a lot of cannibal-esque parts to it. And I kept reading things and I was like, okay, that's really bad. I'll just leave that part out. And then I
yeah.
read the next thing and I was like, okay, that's also really bad. I'll leave that part out too. And then I read another. I was like, this is too much. This is too much. I can't do this.
So Ashley's story would have been one sentence.
Exactly. And it
This
just would have been,
person's name is
this
the
person's
end.
name is Blake. He murdered so and so. It's too much.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, she
Oh.
sent me a paragraph about something she was reading. It's like, oh my God.
Ugh.
No,
Ugh.
thank you.
When I got to the bestiality, I was like, nope,
Oh,
nope,
oh, that wasn't even included.
nope. That's literally
Okay.
what I was like, nope, not doing this one.
Uh, okay. Well, I'm gonna move on.
Yes, tell us about your bad man.
His name was Nikko Jenkins. Okay.
Okay.
Are you with me?
I'm with you, Nikko Jenkins.
He was born close to my birthday,
Oh, sad.
a different year. It was September 16th, 1986. He was,
That's the year I was born.
uh-oh.
Oh, geez.
He was born in Colorado to Martha Jenkins and David McGee. So he took his mom's last name.
Love it. Very forward.
He experienced a range of terrible incidents as a child, including maltreatment, crimes committed by his family, and physical and sexual abuse.
Oh, don't love it. Don't love it.
No. When Nikko Jenkins was 7, he was found in possession of a loaded gun at school, which obviously led to his legal difficulties.
Yeah.
He was 7.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine?
No, I could not imagine.
I should do a story of that 6-year-old that shot his teacher.
What?
Yeah, that happened in the news maybe like a year or two ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry, continue with your
horrible.
story.
Okay. His mother had checked him into a hospital when he was 8 because of his escalating self-harming habits and his bouts of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Due to his aggressive attitude and his gang affiliation, which
Oh.
started when he was just 11,
Oh.
he was expelled from school. By the time he was 13, he had already committed several assaults, and by the age of 15, he had carried out 2 armed carjackings. So from those, he was given a 21-year sentence, of which he barely completed about 10 and a half.
Oh.
So not a lot. When he was 26, he had served more than 10 years in jail for carjacking before being released in July of 2013. However, he committed the 4 murders for which he is currently on death row within a month of his parole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, carjacking to murder.
That's a pretty big jump there.
It is a very big jump. On August 11th, he shot Juan Yorube Peña and Jorge C. Cachiga Ruiz at random while they were sitting in their car. And he robbed them of their possessions as well.
Oh.
These were his first 2 murders. And the scary part is the specific word, random.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no rhyme or reason
Just
as to
wrong place,
why
wrong
he did
time.
this. He just saw 2 people and shot them.
Yeah, that's awful.
And the fact that he just got out of jail and how scary that is to think about, how easy it was for him to get a gun.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah.
How horrifying is that?
Yeah.
He just got out of jail and he has a gun.
Probably from his gang, I would think.
If he's even still part of it, like he's been in jail for over 10 years.
Yeah, but I mean, gangs are in jail and usually they stick around. So maybe he
Yeah.
just continued it through jail. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Curtis Bradford, the third victim, died of a gunshot wound in a garage on August 19th and was the only person that Jenkins knew because they had met in prison. And then the final victim was Andrea Kruger. She died on August 21st after being shot on the street by Nikko.
Hmm.
And when police apprehended Nikko on an unrelated charge of making terroristic threats on August 30th, despite the fact that they also had surveillance footage and ballistics evidence linking him to the Kruger killing, he made their job very, very easy and just began confessing a few days later.
Well, I mean, good, 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 good.
So he claimed that the four fatalities were a sacrifice to the Egyptian demon slash snake god Apophis,
Oh.
and he admitted that to them through an 8-hour confession.
Mm.
He said, "This is going to be a long night. When we're here talking, it just comes out like a computer. My head kept pounding, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And the demonic forces just attacked me. I can't sleep 36 hours at a time until I did the first one,
Wow.
the first murder." So here is this mentally disturbed individual.
Yeah.
And this is a really important thought to keep in the back of your mind because it serves as a whole, it's a bigger deal getting more into this.
Okay.
Ultimately, Nikko sobbed as he told detectives of the other two murders and that he just wanted treatment for the various mental illnesses he claimed to have had. Diseases that he also claimed the Nebraska Department of Corrections had ignored during his time in prison. The Nebraska Department of Corrections is so responsible, he told detectives. This is equivalent to me being a pit bull that they pull off that chain, and whoever it hurt, you're responsible for it. Because you knew the danger of the animal, knew the danger that you created in that cell.
I mean, yeah. I don't disagree kind of with what he said. Like if he truly has disturbing mental, disorders and issues and they ignored that and just like released him, then yeah, I think it's kind of on them too. But let's see if he's telling the truth.
Who knows? Subsequently, he even launched a $24.5 million lawsuit, which was never settled against the state of Nebraska. And it was alleging that they neglected to treat his mental health issues while he was incarcerated and prematurely released him. So,
Okay.
I don't know. Nikko pled no contest to first-degree murder charges on April 16th, 2014, less than a year after confessing to detectives. He was deemed incompetent to stand trial by court-appointed psychiatrists shortly after. Apparently, while in custody, he was able to mutilate himself,
Oh
which
God.
strengthened their point.
Yeah.
This is this part I don't understand, and I'm probably putting myself out there, and people are gonna be like, "You're fucking stupid," but well,
You're fucking stupid. Okay, what is it?
so it said he attempted to engrave the number 666 into his forehead in April 2015.
Mm-hmm.
However, the fact that he was looking into a mirror caused the numbers to seem reversed,
Mm-hmm.
resembling upside down nines, which like aren't upside down nines sixes. don't get it.
First of all, yes, upside down nines are sixes. And second of all, it wouldn't be nines, it would just be backward sixes.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm so confused.
Who wrote that article?
I don't know.
It would just be a backward six. Like,
Right?
yeah, like instead of, I gotta write this out. Instead of a six, it would look like
Because it said,
that, right?
yeah,
Like the one is a six, the other one is, well, that's a really bad six. The other one is a backward. It would look like that, not a nine.
upside down nine.
Oh, maybe it is an upside down nine
Oh, shit.
if you flip it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just stupid. It's
No,
fine.
I was right there with you. I was right there
Okay.
with you. We're on board now. We're caught up. We're there.
Okay. Stupid. He also sliced the word Satan into his face on June 27th, 2015.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute, sir. I thought that you believed in Egyptian gods because isn't that who he sacrificed to?
Yeah, that's a good point.
But now he's
That is
doing
a good point.
Satan.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he also sliced his tongue like a snake to resemble Apophis.
Listen, you got to pick one evil god. Like, you can't have all of these different religion evil ones. What?
Nothing. Well, what's up with you?
I'm just saying, you can't have two different religion evil gods. Come on now.
Well, he is clearly not with it.
So he says.
Yeah. So this part, this part
Uh-oh.
is gross. It honestly just gives me the heebie-jeebies and I don't even have it. But he attempted to cut his penis
Oh.
into the shape of a serpent
Oh.
in September 2015.
Oh.
And it caused enough damage that he needed 27 stitches.
Oh.
And he told the judge that he was listening to the voice of Apophis when he did this. So, even though he had decades of mental health issues, the courts eventually decided that he was competent enough to stand trial despite these incidents.
Okay, that seems not true.
We'll see. Furthermore, according to his psychological tests, the origin of his mental health issues may be traced back to that loaded pistol event that occurred when he was 7 years old and claimed to have heard from Apophis telling him to bring that gun to school. So it's traceable all the way back there.
So he was into Apophis all the way back when he was 7.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Regarding whether Nikko genuinely has diagnosable mental illnesses, doctors disagree.
Oh, okay.
A psychiatrist working in one of the prisons claimed in 2009 that Nikko had schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and possibly even psychosis.
Oh.
However, other specialists that Jenkins is lying about everything in order to be deemed mentally unfit for trial.
That's kind of what I was thinking at first, but I mean, it does go back to when he was so young.
Or so he says.
Oh, there's no like, that's just from what he says. It's not like they found medical records or whatever.
I think so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. According to his wife, Shalonda, he's not faking anything. And to me, it's weird. How does he have a wife?
That's what I was just wondering. I was like, what, a wife?
Unless he had a prison wife,
Yeah.
or it was one of those like right to the prisoners thing.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
people get married while they're in jail,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So apparently she said he's not faking it. She said he's not pretending to be crazy. He's real life crazy. N- Nikko specifically told me that Apophis gives him orders. It was this voice that came and was just like, if you do what I tell you to do, if you follow my demands, then I'll make sure you're safe and make sure you're okay.
Okay.
Shalonda, who has also experienced her own legal troubles,
Uh,
added that her husband had requested mental health assistance while incarcerated, but it was believed that he never received it, which I believe.
yeah, I do too.
She remarked, I told them not to let him out. He isn't prepared to come out into the world. So, in 2014, Nikko went on trial after having mental health problems for years. He represented himself during the trial, which was conducted as a bench trial in front of 3 judges rather than a jury at his request.
Okay.
He also displayed strange behavior, such as speaking in tongues and laughing when his crimes were being told.
Okay, I don't like any of that.
No. Despite being found guilty in April, the death penalty wasn't imposed on him until 3 years later. Authorities postponed his punishment while they assessed his psychiatric condition and made sure he could comprehend the proceedings,
Okay.
which good on them, I
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah. Yeah.
depending on what kind of psychiatric testing they did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
finally, they determined that he was fit to receive the death penalty. Nikko sat stone-faced and mute during his 4 shootings sentencing, which was a dramatic contrast to the rambling, exuberant demeanor he'd shown while confessing to those same murders more than 3 years ago. And that's where I think he was faking it.
Yeah, because he didn't need to try and show he was insane anymore.
Yeah. Because if
Yeah.
you're as insane as you're saying you are and you're acting that way, it's not just going to stop on a dime,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But who
Unless in that
knows?
3 years he was getting some kind of mental help, you know?
Yeah, but if he was getting help during those 3 years, then it couldn't be said that he was sane
Yeah.
enough during
Yeah.
these murders, you
No,
know?
you're right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, in addition to this sentencing, he also received up to 450 years in prison for the other counts.
Wow.
So, he was convicted of 4 counts of first-degree murder, 4 counts of use of a deadly weapon to commit a felony, and 4 counts of possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited person.
Hmm.
And that's basically the end. But I had a little bit of extra because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know where to put it
Mm-hmm.
because it was just kind of awkward.
Okay.
Because I used a couple sources. So I used all that's interesting. I used a website called yen.com,
Mm-hmm.
and the timelines were just kind of weird. They didn't talk a lot about his like earlier childhood or anything because I was trying to find like a little bit more, but I couldn't. So I kind of just put this here to try and paint like a little bit of a better picture
Mm-hmm.
of his life. And then we can kind of talk a little bit more after. But before his father died in 2009, he also had a criminal record and had been convicted of various charges, including terroristic threats,
Oh.
which, if you remember, is what the police caught Nikko doing, was the terroristic threats as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
In 2013, his mother was charged with felony ammunition possession,
Oh, wow.
and his sister Erica was involved in the murder of Curtis Bradford, which was his third killing, I believe, and 3 other killings in Omaha in 2013. And as a result of the murders, she is also serving a life sentence. And in addition, she is serving a life sentence for robbery related to the murder.
Oh, wow.
So
That whole
just
family's messed up.
a whole family has things going for them. So it's just, it's, I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, that's a
You
hard
know,
one.
it is a hard one because on one hand, I do believe that he was faking it
Yeah.
because like I previously mentioned, he was stone cold during his sentencing, but he was rambling and babbling all throughout the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but at the same time, I don't know because he like cut his penis.
Yeah, I mean that's a really far way to take it if you're
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's hard when the rest of your family is in jail for felonies and
Yeah.
your own sister
Yeah.
murdered other people. So it's just I'm hoping that the courts did their due diligence over those 3 years.
Yeah, I hope that they really did. Yeah.
And I feel like they would have if they made it take that long,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? So
Yeah, dang, that's a crazy one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have a joke for you.
Really?
Just one.
Oh, okay. I have some too.
Okay. Knock knock.
Go away.
No. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Yodelehi.
Nope. Go away. I knew that one. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
2 peanuts were walking down the street. One was assaulted.
That's funny. I like that.
This one's funny. I needed a password 8 characters long. So I picked Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs.
Ba-da-bum.
How are you feeling after that sushi? A little eel?
Uh,
And one last one. What did the nut say when she got a cold?
what?
Cashew.
Oh, that's cute. I like that one. I like that. Well, if you want more of us lovely ladies, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Patreon.
And if you would like to rate and review us, you can do so on Apple Podcast and Spotify.
Yay, thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to bringing you 2 new stories next time. Bye.
Bye.